Good day everyone and welcome to Eduk 106 class teaching profession. So today we will be tackling about code of conduct for professional teachers. But first let me introduce myself. My name is Jelielu Sediro and I will be your teacher for today's video. But before we proceed, let us discuss first our objectives. So at the end of this discussion, the students should be able to first one is analyze and interpret specific articles of the Code of Ethics for professional teachers, demonstrating an understanding of ethical principles and their application in various teaching scenarios. The second one is develop a heightened awareness of the ethical responsibilities outlined in the Code of Ethics, fostering a sense of commitment to upholding professional integrity and ethical conduct in their teaching practices. And the last one is exhibit professional behavior as set out by the Code of Ethics for teachers in the Philippines. And now we will discuss about the Code of Ethics to all professional teachers and how it is significant as a profession. So, pursuant to the provisions of Paragraph E, Article 11 of RA number 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994, and Paragraph A, Section 6, PD number 223 as amended, the Board for Professional Teachers hereby adopt the Code of Ethics for Professional Teacher. And as a preamble, the preamble says that teachers are duly licensed professionals who possess dignity and reputation with high moral values as well as technical and professional competence in the practice of their noble profession, and they strictly adhere to observe and practice this set of ethical and moral principles, standards, and values. So it's crucial for teachers to uphold these ethical standards so that they to ensure they provide the best possible learning environment for their students and maintain the trust and respect of the community. So Article 1, Scope and Limitations, Section 1. It states here that the Philippines Constitution provides that all educational institutions shall offer quality education for all competent teachers. Committed to its full realization, the provision of this code shall apply, therefore, to all teachers in schools in the Philippines. So for example, if a teacher is found to be violating any of the ethical principles outlined in this code, regardless of the location or type of school they work in within the Philippines, they would held accountable according to these standards. So this ensures consistency and fairness in addressing ethical issues within the teaching profession nationwide. So, Section 2. This code covers all public and private school teachers in all educational institutions at the preschool, primary, elementary, and secondary levels, whether academic, vocational, special, technical, or non-formal. The term teacher shall include industrial, arts, or vocational teachers and all other persons performing supervisory and or administrative function in all school at the aforesaid levels, whether on full-time or part-time basis. So for example, a vocational teacher in a private secondary school and an administrator in a public primary school would both be bound by the ethical standards outlined in this code. So let's move on with the Article 2, the teacher and the state. Section 1. It stated here that the schools are the nurseries of the future citizens of the state. Each teacher is a trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of the nation and is under obligation to transmit to learners such heritage as well as to elevate national morality, promote national pride, cultivate love of country, instill allegiance to the Constitution and for all duly constituted authorities, and promote obedience to the laws of the state. So an example of this principle is in action would be a history teacher incorporating lessons on significant cultural events and national heroes, while also promoting respect for democratic values and the rule of the law in their classroom discussions and activities. So let's move on with section 2. Every teacher or school official shall actively help carry out the declared policies of the state and shall take an oath to this effect. It emphasizes the active participation of teachers and school officials in implementing the policies established by the state. So they are expected to take an oath affirming their commitment to fulfilling this duty. So for example, a teacher might actively support government initiatives related to education reform by implementing new curriculum guidelines or participating in professional development programs aimed at improving teaching practices. Similarly, a school administrator might collaborate with local education authorities to ensure that school policies align with broader educational objectives set by the state. Section 3. In the interest of the state and of the Filipino people, as much as of his own, every teacher shall be physically, mentally, and morally fit. So for example, a physically fit teacher can effectively manage the demands of classroom, instruction, and extracurricular activities, while a mentally fit teacher can handle the challenges of teaching and provide proper support to students. Additionally, a morally fit teacher serves as a positive role model for students and contributes to the overall moral development of society. So let's move on with section 4. It says, every teacher shall possess and actualize a full commitment and devotion to duty. It emphasizes that every teacher must demonstrate and fulfill a complete commitment and devotion to their duty. A teacher who arrives early to meticulously plan engaging lessons, stays late to provide additional assistance to struggling students, and actively participates in school activities demonstrate a profound commitment and devotion to their duty. So through these actions, the teacher exemplifies a dedication to providing quality education, supporting individual student needs, and enriching the school community, thus embodying the principles outlined in Section 4 of the Code. So, in Section 5, it says, a teacher shall not engage in the promotion of any political, religious, or other partisan interest and shall not directly or indirectly solicit, require, collect, or receive any money or service or other valuable material from any person or entity for such. So imagine a teacher who is deeply involved in a religious organization outside of school. During class time, this teacher starts promoting the religious beliefs of that organization to their students, encouraging them to participate in its activities and events. Additionally, the teacher asks students to donate money or materials to support the organization's cause. So this behavior would violate Section 5 of the Code because the teacher is using their position to promote a religious interest within the school environment and is soliciting resources from students for that purpose, which is not appropriate. And in Section 6, it stated that every teacher shall vote and shall exercise all other constitutional rights and responsibility. So it mandates that every teacher should actively participate in democratic processes by exercising the right to vote in elections and fulfilling all other constitutional rights and responsibilities. So this includes engaging in freedom of speech, such as advocating for social justice issues or policy changes, and respecting constitutional duties like paying taxes and serving on jury duty when summoned. So by modeling responsible citizenship and actively participating in civic activities, teachers contribute to the strength and integrity of the democratic system while instilling these values in their students. And now let's move on with section 7. It stated that a teacher shall not use his position or official authority or influence to coerce any other person to follow any political course of action. So for instance, imagine a teacher who holds a position of authority in a school. During class discussions, this teacher consistently expresses strong opinions about a particular political party or candidate and pressures students to conform to their views. They may assign grades or offer rewards based on students' agreement with their political stance, effectively coercing them into adopting the same beliefs. So this behavior of the teacher violates Section 7 of the Code because the teacher is using their position and influence to manipulate students' political choices, rather than fostering critical thinking and independent decision making. Teachers are expected to maintain impartiality and create a safe and open environment where students can explore diverse perspectives without feeling pressured or coerced into any specific political ideology. So, Section 8. Every teacher shall enjoy academic freedom and shall have privilege of expounding the product of his researches and investigations, provided that if the results are inimical to the declared policies of the state, they shall be brought to the proper authorities for appropriate remedial action. So for example, suppose a teacher conducts research on the effectiveness of certain educational policies implemented by the government. So if the result of this research indicate that these policies are not achieving their intended outcomes or are detrimental to student learning, the teacher has the privilege of presenting these findings to relevant authorities. So this ensures transparency and accountability in the educational system, as well as the opportunity to address any issues or concerns raised by academic research. So let's move on with Article 3, the teacher and the community. Section 1, it states here that a teacher is a facilitator of learning and of the development of the youth. He shall therefore render the best service by providing an environment conducive to such learning and growth. So for example, a teacher who designs engaging lesson plans, encourages critical thinking, and provides support and guidance to students creates a conducive learning environment. So by nurturing curiosity, creativity, and personal growth, teachers empower students to reach their full potential and contribute positively to their communities. Section 2. Every teacher shall provide leadership and initiative to actively participate in community movements for moral, social, educational, economic, and civic betterment. So for example, a teacher might lead or participate in community initiatives such as literacy programs, environmental conservation efforts, or youth mentorship programs. So by leveraging their expertise and influence, teachers can make meaningful contributions to addressing various community needs and promoting positive change. And now let's move on to Section 3. It states that every teacher shall merit reasonable social recognition, for which purpose he shall behave with honor and dignity at all times, and refrain from such activities as gambling, smoking, drunkenness, and other excesses, much less illicit relations. So for instance, a teacher who maintains a professional demeanor, treats others with respect, and refrains from behaviors like gambling or excessive drinking, enhances their standing in the community. So by embodying integrity and ethical conduct, teachers earn the respect and trust of their students, colleagues, and the broader society, reinforcing the importance of moral values in education. So Section 4. Every teacher shall live for and with the community and shall therefore study and understand local customs and traditions in order to have sympathetic attitude. Therefore, refrain from disparaging the community. So, for example, a teacher who takes the time to learn about the cultural practices, values, and traditions of the community they serve can better connect with students and their families. So by demonstrating respect and appreciation for local customs, the teacher fosters a positive relationship with the community and creates a welcoming and inclusive learning environment. Additionally, refraining from disparaging remarks or actions helps maintain mutual respect and trust between the teacher and the community. So let's move on with section 5. It states that every teacher shall help the school keep the people in the community informed about the school's work and accomplishments as well as its needs and problems. So for example, a teacher might collaborate with school administrators to organize community events such as open houses or parent-teacher conferences where information about the school's initiatives, achievements, and challenges can be shared with parents, local leaders, and other community members. And additionally, teachers may utilize various communication channels such as newsletters, social media, or community meetings to keep the community informed about important development and opportunities for involvement. So by fostering transparency and engagement, teachers strengthen the relationship between the school and the community, ultimately benefiting the education and well-being of the students. And in section 6, it says every teacher is intellectual leader in the community, especially in the barangay, and shall welcome the opportunity to provide such leadership when needed, to extend counseling services as appropriate, and to actively be involved in matters affecting the welfare for the people. And now let's move on to section 7. Every teacher shall maintain harmonious and pleasant personal and official relations with other professionals, with government officials, and with the people individually or collectively. So for example, a teacher collaborates effectively with colleagues, communicates respectfully with government officials involved in education policy, and interacts positively with students, parents, and community members. By fostering good relationships, teachers create a supportive and productive work environment, facilitate cooperation and collaboration, and contribute to the overall well-being of the educational community. And now let's move on to section number 8. It says that a teacher possesses freedom to attend church and worships as appropriate, but shall not use his positions and influence to proselyte others. So for example, a teacher may freely practice their religious beliefs and attend religious services outside of school hours. However, during school hours or within the educational setting, they should refrain from promoting or advocating for their religious beliefs to students or colleagues. So this ensures that teachers maintain professionalism and respect the diverse belief and backgrounds of their students and colleagues, fostering an inclusive and respectful learning environment. And the next one is article number 4, a teacher and their profession. Section 1. It stated that every teacher shall actively ensure that teaching is the noblest profession and shall manifest genuine enthusiasm and pride in teaching as a noble calling. So for example, a teacher who approaches their work with passion, dedication, and a sense of purpose embodies the ideals of teaching as a noble profession. They inspire students, colleagues, and the broader community by their commitment to education and the positive impact they make on the lives of others. So by upholding the profession's dignity and significance, teachers contribute to its continued recognition and respect within the society. And the next one is section number 2. It stated that every teacher shall uphold the highest possible standards of quality education, shall make the best preparations for the career of teaching, and shall be at his best at all times and in the practice of his profession. So for instance, a teacher who pursues advanced trainings stays updated on the latest educational research and methodologies, and regularly reflects on and improves their teaching practices, exemplifies this commitment to excellence. So by continually striving to enhance their skills and knowledge, teachers ensure that they are well equipped to provide the best possible learning experiences for their students and can contribute to the overall improvement of the teaching profession. And the next one is section number 3. It says that every teacher shall participate in the Continuing Professional Education or CPE program of the Professional Regulation Commission and shall pursue such other studies as will improve his efficiency and enhance the prestige of their profession and strengthen his competence, virtues, and productivity in order to be nationally and internationally competitive. The next one is section number 4. It says that every teacher shall help, if duly authorized, to seek support from the school, but shall not make improper misrepresentations through personal advertisements and other questionable means. So for instance, a teacher who needs resources for a classroom project may seek support from the school administration by presenting a clear and honest proposal outlining the project's objectives and budget requirements. So this demonstrates transparency and accountability in seeking assistance from the school. So conversely, a teacher who resorts to deceptive tactics such as misrepresenting their needs or using personal advertisements to solicit funds for personal gain would be in violation of this section. So such behavior undermines the integrity of the teaching profession and erodes trust within the school community. And now let's move on to section 5. It states here that every teacher shall use the teaching profession in a manner that makes it dignified meaning for earning a decent living. So for example, teachers should be compensated fairly for their expertise, dedication, and hard work. They should also advocate for adequate salaries, benefits, and working conditions that reflect the value of their profession. So by ensuring that teaching is a viable and respected career path, teachers can attract and retain talented individuals who are committed to providing quality educations to students. So this, in turn, contributes to the overall dignity and prestige of the teaching profession. So, Article 4, the teachers and the professions. Section 1, it states here that teachers shall at all times be imbued with the spirit of professional loyalty, mutual confidence and faith in one another, self-sacrifice for the common good, and full cooperation with colleagues. When the best interest of the learners, the school, or their profession is at stake in any controversy, teachers shall support one another. So for instance, if a teacher faces criticism or encounters challenges in their personal practice, their colleagues should offer support and assistance rather than engaging in gossip or undermining their credibility. So by fostering a culture of solidarity and collaboration, teachers create a supportive environment that promotes professional growth and enhances the quality of education for students. So this commitment to mutual support and cooperation strengthens the teaching profession as a whole. And next one is section 2. A teacher is not entitled to claim credit or work not of his own, and shall give due credit for the work of others which he may use. So for example, if a teacher incorporates lesson materials, ideas, or research findings created by others into their teaching, they must acknowledge the original source and give proper attribution. This ensures that academic integrity and respects the intellectual property rights of others. So next is section 3. Before leaving his position, a teacher shall organize for whoever assumes the position such records and other data as are necessary to carry on the work. So for example, a teacher who is retiring or moving to a new school should ensure that all relevant lesson plans, student records, assessment data, and administrative documents are properly organized and handed over to the incoming teacher. This ensures continuity in the educational program and facilitates a smooth transition for the new teacher, enabling them to effectively carry on the work without disruption. And then, next one is Section 4. A teacher shall hold inviolate all confidential information concerning associates and the school and shall not divulge to anyone documents which has not been officially released or remove records from files without permission. So for instance, if a teacher becomes aware of sensitive information about a colleague or a school-related matter, such as disciplinary actions or personal issues, they must keep this information confidential and not disclose it to anyone without authorization. So the next one is Section 5. It stated that it shall be the responsibility of every teacher to seek correctives for what may appear to be an unprofessional and unethical conduct of any associate. However, this may be done only if there is incontrovertible evidence for such conduct. So for example, if a teacher observes behavior from a colleague that appears to violate professional ethics or standards, they have a duty to seek corrective action. This could involve reporting the issue to appropriate authorities within the school or education system, providing evidence to support their concerns. So by addressing misconduct in a responsible and evidence-based manner, teachers uphold the integrity of the profession and maintain a safe and respectful working environment for all colleagues and students. Section 6. A teacher may submit to the proper authorities any justifiable criticism against an associate, preferably in writing without violating the right of the individual concerned. So for instance, if a teacher has concerns about the professional conduct or performance of a colleague, they may choose to document these concerns and submit them to the appropriate authorities within the school or educational institution. This could include providing specific examples or evidence to support their criticism while ensuring that the rights and dignity of the individual are respected throughout the process. So by addressing issues in a constructive and formal manner, teachers contribute to the maintenance of professional standards and accountability within the teaching profession. Section 7. A teacher may apply for a vacant position for which he is qualified, provided that he respects the system of selection on the basis of merit and competence, provided further that all qualified candidates are given the opportunity to be considered. So for example, if a teaching position becomes available within a school or educational institution, a teacher who meets the qualifications and requirements outlined in the job posting may submit an application. However, they must adhere to the principles of fairness and meritocracy in the selection process, recognizing that the most qualified candidate should be chosen based on their skills, experience, and suitability for the position. This ensures transparency and equity in hiring practices within the teaching profession, promoting culture of professionalism and excellence. And now let's move on to Article number 6, the teacher and higher authorities in the profession. Section 1. It stated that every teacher shall make it his duty to make an honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and administration, regardless of personal feeling or private opinion, and shall faithfully carry them out. So for instance, if a school administration implements a new curriculum or disciplinary policy, teachers should make an effort to understand the rationale behind it and support its implementation, even if they may have personal reservations or differing opinions. So by demonstrating professionalism and cooperation, teachers contribute to the smooth functioning of the school and the attainment of its educational goals. And now, section 2. It says, a teacher shall not make any false accusations or charges against superiors, especially under anonymity. However, if there are valid charges, he should present such under oath to competent authority. So, for example, if a teacher has concerns about the conduct or actions of a superior, they should refrain from spreading rumors or making unfounded allegations. Instead, they should gather evidence and present their concerns in a formal and transparent manner, ensuring that they are supported by facts and presented truthfully. By adhering to these principles, teachers uphold the integrity of the profession and contribute to a culture of accountability and fairness within the educational institution. Section 3. A teacher shall transact all official business through channels except when special conditions warrant a different procedure, such as when special conditions are advocated but are opposed by immediate superiors, in which case the teacher shall appeal directly to the appropriate higher authority. So, for example, if a teacher proposes a new initiative or raises concerns about a particular issue within the school but faces resistance from immediate superiors, they have the option to appeal directly to the higher authorities for consideration. This ensures that legitimate concerns or proposals are not disregarded due to the bureaucratic obstacles and that teachers have avenues for addressing issues that affect their work and the welfare of students. So by advocating for proper procedures and seeking resolution through appropriate channels, teachers contribute to the effective functioning and improvement of the educational system. Section 4. Every teacher, individually or as part of a group, has the right to seek redress against injustice to the administration and to the extent possible shall raise grievances within acceptable democratic processes. In doing so, they shall avoid jeopardizing the interest and the welfare of learners whose right to learn must be respected. So, for instance, if teachers encounter unjust treatment or policy decisions from the administration, they have the right to address these concerns through appropriate channels, such as formal grievance procedures or collective bargaining. However, it is imperative that these actions are conducted in a manner that prioritizes the well-being and educational experience of the students. So by advocating for fairness and justice while considering the impact on the learners, teachers uphold their professional responsibilities and contribute to a positive and supportive learning environment. Section 5. Every teacher has a right to invoke the principle that appointments, promotions, and transfer of teachers are made only on the basis of merit and needed in the interest of the service. So, for example, teachers have the right to expect that their career advancements and reassignments within the educational system are determined by their qualifications, performance, and the requirements of the institution or department. So this principle ensures fairness, transparency, and professionalism in personal decisions, ultimately contributing to the effectiveness and integrity of the teaching profession. So by advocating for merit-based practices, teachers uphold the standards of excellence and accountability within the education sector. Section 6. A teacher who accepts a position assumes a contractual obligations to live up to his contract, assuming full knowledge of employment terms and conditions. So, for instance, by accepting a teaching position, a teacher agrees to abide by the specified work hours, duties, and responsibilities outlined in their contract. They also commit to upholding professional standards of conduct and performance expected within the educational setting. So, by fulfilling their contractual obligations, teachers contribute to the effective operation of the school and the attainment of its educational objectives. Article 7. School officials, teachers, and other personnel. Section 1. All school officials shall at all times show professional courtesy, helpfulness, and sympathy towards teachers and other personnel, such practices being standards of effective school supervision, dignified administration, responsible leadership, and enlightened directions. So, for example, school officials should actively support and collaborate with teachers, providing guidance, resources, and encouragement to facilitate their professional growth and effectiveness in the classroom. Section 2. School officials, teachers, and other school personnel shall consider it their cooperative responsibility to formulate policies or introduce important changes in the system at all levels. For instance, when considering new policies or implementing changes to existing practices, it is essential for school officials to engage teachers and other stakeholders in the decision-making process. This collaborative approach ensures that diverse perspectives are considered and decisions are made in the best interest of students, staff, and the broader school community. Section 3. School officials shall encourage and attend the professional growth of all teachers under them, such as recommending them for promotion, giving them due recognition for meritorious performance, and allowing them to participate in conferences and training programs. For example, school officials may provide opportunities for teachers to attend professional development workshops, pursue advanced education or certifications, and engage in collaborative learning experiences. In Section 4, no school officials shall dismiss or recommend for dismissal a teacher or other subordinates except for cause. So, for example, if a teacher consistently fails to fulfill their professional responsibilities, engages in misconduct, or violates school policies or regulations, school officials may have grounds to initiate dismissal proceedings. However, such decisions should be made based on clear and documented evidence of misconduct or incompetence, following due process and fair procedures. Section 5. School authorities concerned shall ensure that public school teachers are employed in accordance with pertinent civil service rules, and private school teachers are issued contracts specifying the terms and conditions of their work, provided that they are given, if qualified, subsequent permanent tenure in accordance with existing laws. For example, public school teachers should be hired through a transparent and merit-based process in compliance with civil service regulations. Private school teachers should receive written contracts detailing their roles, responsibilities, compensation, and other pertinent terms of employment. Article 8. The Teachers and Learners, Section 1. A teacher has right and duty to determine the academic marks and the promotions of learners in the subject or grades he handles, provided that such determination shall be in accordance with generally accepted procedures of evaluation and measurement. In case of any complaint, teachers concerned shall immediately take appropriate actions observing due process. So, for instance, a teacher is responsible for assessing students' performance based on established criteria and evaluating their progress throughout the academic year. Section 2. A teacher shall recognize that the interest and welfare of learners are of first and foremost concern, and shall deal justifiably and impartially with each of them. So, for example, regardless of personal biases or preferences, a teacher should provide equal opportunities for learning and support to all students. They should address each student's needs, abilities, and circumstances with fairness and impartiality, ensuring that no student is disadvantaged or discriminated against in the learning process. Now let's move on to section number 3. It says that under no circumstance shall a teacher be prejudiced or discriminate against a learner. For instance, regardless of a student's race, ethnicity, gender, religion, socio-economic background, or any other characteristic, a teacher is obligated to treat them with respect, fairness, and dignity. Section 4. A teacher shall not accept favors or gifts from learners, their parents, or others in their behalf in exchange for requested concessions, especially if undeserved. Teachers are expected to evaluate students based solely on their academic performance and merit without any undue influence from external factors such as gifts or favors. By adhering to this principle, teachers uphold the principles of fairness, impartiality, and academic integrity in their interactions with students and their families. Section 5. A teacher shall not accept directly or indirectly any remuneration from tutorials other what is authorized for such service. For instance, if a teacher offers private tutoring to students outside of their regular teaching duties, any compensation received for these services must be in accordance with the authorized rates or guidelines set by school or educational institution. Accepting additional payments or benefits beyond what is authorized could create conflicts of interest and undermine the integrity of the educational system. Section 6. A teacher shall base the evaluation of the learner's work only in merit and quality of academic performance. For example, when assessing student assignments, tests, or project, a teacher should focus on objective criteria such as accuracy, comprehension, critical thinking, and application of knowledge. Personal biases, favoritism, or any other non-academic factors should not influence the evaluation process. Section 7. In a situation where mutual attraction and subsequent love develop between teacher and learner, the teacher shall exercise utmost professional discretion to avoid scandal, gossip, and preferential treatment of the learner. So for example, if a romantic relationship develops between a teacher and a student, the teacher should prioritize maintaining professionalism and ethical boundaries to prevent any negative consequences within the school community. Section 8. A teacher shall not inflict corporal punishment on offending learners nor make deductions from their scholastic ratings as a punishment for acts which are clearly not manifestation of poor scholarship. So for example, a teacher should not physically discipline students as a form of punishment for behavioral infractions. Additionally, deducting points from a student's academic grades for non-academic transgressions such as tardiness or uniform violations is inappropriate and unfair. Instead, disciplinary actions should be proportionate to the offense and focused on promoting positive behavior and learning opportunities. Section 9. A teacher shall ensure that conditions contribute to the maximum development of learners are adequate and shall extend needed assistance in preventing or solving learners' problems and difficulties. So, for example, a teacher may create a supportive and inclusive classroom environment where students feel safe to express themselves and engage in learning. Article 9. The teachers and parents. Section 1. Every teacher shall establish and maintain cordial relations with parents and shall conduct himself to merit their confidence and respect. So, for example, teachers can achieve this by regularly communicating with parents regarding their child's academic progress, behavior, and any concerns or achievements. Section 2. Every teacher shall inform parents through proper authorities of the progress and deficiencies of learners under him. exercising utmost candor and tact in pointing out the learner's deficiencies and in seeking parents' cooperation for the proper guidance and improvement of the learners. So, for example, if a student is struggling academically or behaviorally, the teacher should communicate this information to the parents in a respectful and constructive manner. Rather than simply highlighting the problems, the teacher should also offer suggestions for how parents can support their child's learning and address any challenges they may be facing. And let's move on to section 3. It stated that a teacher shall hear parents' complaints with sympathy and understanding and shall discourage unfair criticism. So, for instance, if a parent expresses concerns or complaints about the child's education or experience in the classroom, the teacher should approach the conversation with empathy and a willingness to address the parent's perspective. However, teachers should also strive to ensure that any criticism or feedback provided. Article 10. The Teacher and the Business. Section 1, it says, a teacher has the right to engage directly or indirectly in legitimate income generation provided that it does not relate to or adversely affect his work as a teacher. So, for example, a teacher may pursue part-time work, freelance opportunities, or business ventures outside of their teaching duties to supplement their income, provided that such activities do not interfere with their primary responsibilities in the classroom. Teachers should ensure that their secondary income generating activities do not compromise their availability, commitment, or effectiveness as educators. So, Section 2. A teacher shall maintain a good reputation with respect to the financial matters such in the settlement of his debts and loans in arranging satisfactorily his private financial affairs. For instance, if teachers should strive to manage their finances prudently, ensuring timely payment of debts and loans to maintain a positive financial standing. So by demonstrating fiscal responsibility and integrity, teachers uphold the trust and confidence of their colleagues, students, and the broader community. Section 3. No teacher shall act directly or indirectly as agent of or be financially interested in any commercial venture which furnish textbooks and other school commodities in the purchase and disposal of which he can exercise official influence, except only when his assignment is inherently related to such purchase and disposal, provided they shall be in accordance with existing regulations, provided further that members of duly recognized teachers' cooperatives may participate in the distribution and sale of such commodities. In simpler terms, teachers should refrain from engaging in any business activities related to the supply of textbooks or school materials, especially if they have the power to influence the buying or selling decisions. Article 11. The teacher as a person. Section 1. A teacher is above all a human being endowed with life for which it is the highest obligation to live with dignity at all times, whether in school, in home, or elsewhere. In essence, this section emphasizes the fundamental importance of dignity in the life of a teacher. It highlights the notion that teachers, like all individuals, should conduct themselves with integrity, respect, and honor in all aspects of their lives. Section 2. A teacher shall place premium upon self-discipline as the primary principle of personal behavior in all relationships with others and in all situations. Thus, this section underscores the importance of self-control, restraint, and responsible conduct in a teacher's interaction with students, colleagues, parents, and the broader community. So by practicing self-discipline, teachers demonstrate maturity, professionalism, and integrity, which are essential qualities for fostering positive relationships, maintaining a conducive learning environment, and upholding the ethical standards of the teaching profession. Section 3. A teacher shall maintain at all times a dignified personality which could serve as a model worthy of emulation by learners, peers, and all others. This section highlights the importance of teachers embodying qualities such as integrity, professionalism, respect, and empathy in their conduct and interactions. So by upholding a dignified demeanor, teachers set a positive example for their students and colleagues, inspiring them to strive for excellence and ethical behavior. Section 4. A teacher shall always recognize the Almighty God as guide of his own destiny and of the destinies of men and nations. This section underscores the importance of spiritual awareness and acknowledging a higher power in a teacher's life. By recognizing the guidance of the Almighty God, teachers may draw strength, wisdom, and inspiration to fulfill their roles with dedication, humility, and integrity. Article 12. Disciplinary actions. Any violation of any provision of this code shall be sufficient ground for the imposition against the erring teacher of the disciplinary action, consisting of revocation of his certification of registration and license as a professional teacher, suspension from the practice of teaching profession, or reprimand or cancellation of this temporary or special permit under causes specified in Section 23, Article 3, or RA number 7836, and under Rule 31, Article 13 of the Rules and Regulations implementing RA 7836. In essence, this section emphasizes the seriousness of adhering to the ethical standards and principles outlined in the code, as violations may result in significant consequences for teachers and professional status and practice. Example, a teacher engaging in misconduct such as soliciting bribes from students or parents in exchange for a favorable grades. If such behavior is discovered and proven, it could lead to disciplinary action, including the revocation of teacher certification and license to practice as a professional teacher. Article 13, Effectivity. Section 1. It says this code shall take up effect upon approval by the Professional Regulation Commission and after 60 days following its publication in the Official Gazette or any newspaper of general circulation, whichever is earlier. In simpler terms, once the Professional Regulation Commission approves the code, it will be officially implemented. Afterward, the code will take effect 60 days after it is published, either in Official Gazette or in newspaper that is widely circulated among the public. This provision ensures that stakeholders have sufficient time to become aware of the code's contents and prepare for its implementations. And that is all for the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. I hope all of you understand and have a deeper understanding about our topic for today. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Goodbye.